Visiting with St. Louis County Council, SHALONDA WEBB. Thanks so much for being with us. You're here tonight for the first annual National MBA State of the Black Professional. So tell me about it and why you're here and what you hope to give to your constituents from today's event.
Thank you, sir. First, I'm honored that they just even thought of me to participate. I will be on one of the panels and we'll be discussing the importance of being diverse at our workforce. And so people look at me as the councilwoman and chair of the St. Louis County Council, but I am also an engineer at the Boeing Company. I've been at Boeing for 25 years, 18 years as a software engineer and 7 years in leadership. And I'm currently our division's engineering workforce lead. And so I'm going to be talking about the importance of being intentional, of how we are, when we're in these spaces, in these corporate spaces or even entrepreneurship, that we provide the roadmap and we also champion for others to be leaders in these divisions, in these companies, and also in our businesses.
You know, you talked about that you are an engineer in corporate America. What would you say, and I don't want to steal your thunder from your speech and things you'll talk about tonight, but what would you say are probably some barriers or challenges that African Americans might see trying to climb that corporate ladder, and then a woman as well for yourself?
So I live this real time. So first, I'm a small town girl. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas. And for me to be a female lead in an engineering forum for the largest aerospace company in the world, traveled internationally on several accounts, you know, I had to look back and say, Grandma and Mama, I'm really doing this, right? But there are challenges. I'm grateful that I don't have the same challenges that they may have had 40 years ago or 50 years ago. But in this time and space now, there is still a disparity about women representation, black women representation in these industries. I can recall real quickly that someone thought I was the secretary when I was calling a meeting because the expectations was, I can't believe that she is the engineer. And so those challenges don't go away just by happenstance. You have to be intentional about changing that. That is making sure that you increase the representation. That is making sure that you give people good foundations in their discipline, whatever their skill set is, so that knowledge can transcend all of the stupidity. And so that's what I do. I work with engineers all across the Boeing Company, at the St. Louis site specifically, but across the nation, to just do that, be intentional about diversifying our workforce, especially in engineering.
Well, I just have to ask you, that just is a fascinating story to hear that. How did you handle that situation when you are an engineer, a corporate leader, someone, and nothing certainly against the profession of secretaries, but someone thought you were the secretary?
Well, again, no disrespect to that profession. And this happened earlier in my career, and I took it lightly because every situation can't be blown up. It's a way to navigate through it. But I remember telling them, I said, you know, I can take notes, I can strategize, I can develop the framework for your next subsystem, or I can count the tiles on the ceiling. It all pays the same. But it was just to make light of it because their expectations is that, you know, I'm going to blow up about it. But no. And the same is true when I went and trained our Japanese customers. You know, going into that world and teaching them, you know, you have to earn that, right? Because initially they're like, oh, she's going to teach. But after multiple times being there, I remember the Master Chief, he would say, when I left my last time there, he was like, oh, Shalonda, are you coming back? And I was like, no, sir. He's like, well, why not? Because I had worked and earned that respect. And my knowledge, one thing I tell my children, two things. One, they can never take away what you know.
That's right.
Value that. And two, people may have more money than you, they may know more people than you, but they should never outwork you. And that work ethic and having that knowledge, that makes a difference. That peels back the layers of the onion and helps you put your foot forward. Those are one thing. It takes other things, but I think that's important too.
Sure. All right, thank you so much for the visit.
Thank you so much too, sir. I look forward to us meeting again.
Absolutely. That's St. Louis County Councilwoman SHALONDA WEBB. And like you said, you don't let them outwork you.
Yes, never.